Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Erin Maguire is here. Hello, Erin.
Hello, I'm so glad to be back. Thank you for having me.
Everyone loved Erin Maguire. And that's the truth. They'd be like, Erin Maguire, that kind of thing. And if you want to hear the first time she was on, it's episode 3580. It's called Yeet. New word in the dictionary, and it really did fit. Also, she was part of the 24-hour marathon that's available at keithandthegirl.com/store. Your album, we've mentioned this when you were on before, Baseline Presentable, it's called, is fantastic. You should be very proud.
Thank you very much.
Could be heard also on Sirius XM as well. You're closing out a Boston Comedy Festival.
Yes, I'm doing May 17th. I'm closing out 2 shows, City Winery.
And then also in Boston, you're going to be opening up for Adam Ferrara.
Yes.
Right.
That is the first weekend in June at Off Cabot.
Now, we know that you read those, you do the voiceovers, you do audiobooks for Harlequin type stuff.
Yes.
Did you have to get rid of a Boston accent?
I thought I never had a Boston accent. I never grew up sounding like that. In my head, I always sounded like I was selling newspapers in 1940.
Right.
But apparently, I did have to get rid of a Boston accent that I was unaware of that has recently been brought to my attention by my family.
How so?
I was they found a tape of me as Annie in 8th grade.
Oh.
First of all,
It's a hard knock life.
it's a wicked hard knock life, kid. You have no idea how hard this life is. Miss Hannigan, Daddy Warbucks. I kid you not. I was always like, I prided myself on being not Boston. I don't sound like I'm from Boston. They ripped this thing out and I wet my pants. First of all, I'm massive. I'm huge because I was 5'7" in like 6th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a big Annie.
Like you're towering over everybody?
Yes. I was like a bull. I was just massive.
Wait, how tall did you say?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I see it before anybody else.
How tall did you say?
5'7".
5'7".
I know that sounds short, but I had a friend who was also about 5'7" in 6th grade, and it messes with your head only because like you might just be a few or 2 inches taller, but you're the first one to hit over 100 pounds. Like that's how she saw it. We experienced this, and meanwhile, she was a model. Like she just didn't know it because she's so tall. It's just compared to us, of course.
Was like that though. I wish
she
that
didn't become a model or anything. It's just she didn't recognize, how long and great her legs are, because we were children. Long, great legs don't come about in your head until you're thinking like that, and we weren't yet. We were just like, what is all this leg? Why?
Yeah, it's not long, great legs on a kid. That's when it gets creepy.
Right, exactly.
That's when someone gets arrested. I wasn't so much. I was equal parts long, but just big. And, since I was so huge, and of course, my best friend growing up was like 4'10" and spunky. And of course, said to me once upon a time, I'm the pretty one, you're the funny one. And I have been in therapy ever since. And guess what? She's not wrong. But I made a living out of it.
Oh my goodness.
And she pumps filler into people's faces. Anyway. So
this is not going to help the self-esteem looking back, but Ryan V is saying Little Orphan Andre the Giant.
I picture Erin as a kid going down to scrub the floors, and she has to grab onto like chairs and tables as she's lowering herself.
It's like Godzilla. I walk in the orphanage like,
everybody runs. The whole play has changed. Everybody runs to Mrs. Hannigan. She hugs everybody.
I've never seen Annie bench press Daddy Warbucks like that. Was that in the original? I was huge. So you see me come in, and if you remember Annie, if you ever saw the show, the first scene is like there's a fight in the orphanage. But like you're supposed to be fake fighting. And it is the most Boston thing you've ever seen. These 2 chicks are going at it like they have a personal vendetta against each other. They're like tearing hair. They're like knocking into the set. At one point, I think they're kind of off stage. I was like, oh, shit went down. Something happened. So then you see me come in and I'm like, break it up. I'm just huge. I tear them apart. I have a really heavy Boston accent. Do you want Miss Hannigan to come in here? Ah, it was like Mark
They're
Wahlberg.
whispering, like, is that Annie? Is that a different character?
Did you get picked because you have red hair?
I did.
Okay.
But it was like when you see the video, it's like, classic VCR quality. So everything looks really dark. So I was a redhead, but it doesn't read red. And it was just big and huge. And, at one point I'm supposed to go over and like comfort Molly, the little kid. And it looked like I put her in a headlock. You have to see it. It's really good. But so I never thought I had a Boston accent until I heard me as Annie sitting down going, yeah, I'm an orphan. What? I live with this guy. He's wicked bald, but he's got a shit ton of money.
Now,
Yeah.
I got to see this because I wonder if our perspective of being large or smaller or whatever is all because we were like 10 years old and we are the most awkward and the most this and the most that. And so I wonder if
it's skewed in my mind.
yes. Now I'm going to watch the video. We're going to post it. I'll post it on Reddit.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll send it to you. Here's
Okay.
where I think you're going to find that I am a large Annie. The other part of this is that I was so much taller than Daddy Warbucks that I was wearing like little girl dresses, but the director made me squat in them to get down to his size. So I bent my knees the entire performance.
Stop it. Oh my God.
I was like, I looked Cro-Magnon. I was the only Annie whose knuckles bled when she walked.
They can't give him heels. They get lifts.
No, that would be extra
Gay.
weird.
Right.
Daddy Warbucks, Daddy Warbucks in high heels and a huge Annie who's constantly knee bent. It's awesome.
It is a hard knock life. Jesus.
It's a hard knock life, kid. I'm telling you.
I want to read some emails from people. Info at Keith and the Girl. That's how you write in. You know that. Appia wrote, I get what Jesswood was saying on the last show. Care more about your clothes, but also care less about your clothes and instead about feeding the homeless and how murder is bad, but not if you wear Crocs. That is a good point. I like the point when Hemda said, I'm glad all three of you made it today. And then it turns out she did have multiple personality disorders. Keith and the Girl, I don't know how you do it. But I was surprised.
Wait, who had multiple personality?
Our guest yesterday had multiple personality disorder, and knows how to deal with it now. But I'm like, we've known you for so long. Well, we knew you for so long. We didn't know you and you for so long, and it's just weird how things come out. That's all.
That definitely changes how you split bills from now on, going out to restaurants.
Right. You're like, well, now that I realized it's just me, my bank account's getting drained more.
Exactly. No, the next time you go out, you divide it. It's like if it's just you and her, she pays for 4 people. You just pay for yourself.
Right. What if one of you
different divide? You win.
Dear Keith and Hemda, I just signed up to VIP and I'm caught up with the dad saga with Keith's dad over the weekend. Wowie, wow. Also, What's My Name? That's Hemda's interview show that she did. Is so thought-provokingly well done. And My Name is Keith. That's the drunk show that I did. Is so ... drunk ... They're all just so good. And McNally, Jesus. Other Gem Mint 10 discoveries. The Pod Show Contract. Fuck Adam Curry. The show Fuck Dane Cook. The show Friendly Ribbing. What a crybaby, Dane. A Whole New World. Which was the breakup. On and loving it. Love, Susie.
Oh, Susie. You know what that felt like? Now every day or every week, there's a new little like, hey, here are memories from this past whatever, or here's the times you ate on a beach, or here's the time you bike. And then my phone puts together this little vignette of pictures. And as he's mentioning the titles of episodes, I'm like, oh, this is just like watching the pic. Oh, that was my life then. Oh, how chaotic. Right. Oh, how crazy. Oh, I'm glad it's 2023 sometimes.
Yeah, when we were mentioning keithandgirl.com/awards, happiest moment of the year will be nominated. Getting married years later, Saddest, getting divorced. Year later, craziest, he's dating again. Year later.
These are the ultimate Facebook memory slideshows.
Yes.
Right. The
Yeah.
podcast of 18 years.
Dear Keith and the girl, and I see Erin is the guest. I'd love her opinion too. Love your show. Love you much. White male 24. It comes into play.
Okay.
I just moved into a new apartment building in Charlotte. And what's that? Charlotte, North Carolina, right?
That sounds
I
right.
would think so.
And
Yeah.
about a month in, I realized that my live-in landlord holds, without exaggeration, Nazi meetings every month.
Where?
The first Saturday of each month, I realized. It's now been 6 months. I signed a lease for a year and told I definitely had to promise to say I'll last at least a year. And of course, I signed the contract. I don't know what I can do about it. I see people coming in and out of his basement through my window. They're not dressed like the King of England or anything, but there are Nazi pins and armband swastikas. They're not loud. I just see them walking in and out. And how do I say this? They don't look like the type that are putting together a play. Other info, the house is a little out of the way. I assume if I even call a cop, if even a cop was called just to look for anything, they know it was probably me who called. I haven't been recruited. Thoughts, Sean?
What are you calling the cops on? What are you going to say?
I know.
Right.
What was she wearing? Like, what are you going to say?
Well, you'd like him to look around. Maybe there's evidence of some cross burning somehow, But yeah,
I mean, can you? This is a legal thing. Can you arrest somebody over that?
I don't think so.
I
And
guess
think
not for the meeting. I guess not. I guess that's the frustration. That would be
If
my
it's
frustration.
Indoors, I
But
don't know.
I'd be happy to see. I don't know. If it was in New York City, if it was here, it'd be easy for me I would send the cops over.
Yeah, to
And
narc.
I'd make up a flat out lie.
But
if your house is out of the way, I'm hearing babies crying. I'm hearing my mom getting punched in the face. I don't fucking know. Who cares?
Mm.
Anything. They stole a car. I know it.
Hmm.
The
But
stuff
if
that
you're
happens-
out of the way, if you don't want Nazis knowing it was you, and
Yeah.
cops have no problem ratting people out.
that is a very good point. Let's not forget you're in rural North Carolina.
Right.
That is a tough sell. But also, I mean, could you get out of it?
If we have all these laws, like you don't have to bake a cake for somebody if you're homophobic but love Jesus, you would
Right.
think there's something like emotional distress. But then who knows? But I would think as whatever the fuck is going on, now your landlord knows it. I don't even like Kyle talking to my landlord about should this place be painted again? So now picture I have a landlord that knows I'm suing them or at least getting out of my lease over Nazism. We just need a couple more weeks or a month to settle it out. No,
Is it the landlord that is the Nazi?
it sounds like it's a landlord that's at least holding the events.
Oh,
in the
God.
apartment.
Yeah.
Wow, this has stumped all of us.
Yeah.
Do you? Well, Keith, you're the white guy.
Yes. Thank you.
Do you stay? These closest to
I
because I would have to leave. I don't know how to. If I saw that, I don't know how to sleep at night anymore. But
No, if
what
it's
would you
under
do?
I'd have to leave or do something to the basement,
Oh,
and
you
maybe
know,
both.
there's always ways out. There's always loopholes.
Right.
I would honestly call like a realtor.
Mm.
Have all your stuff packed up nice, and then throw bed bugs into the basement.
Yeah.
And then they go, "We have bed bugs." Go, "Oh shit, I gotta leave. I won't
Or
sleep
go
too
the other
much."
way and have like, in awesome drag parties. Just to really,
They hate it. Nazis hate it.
Make him be the one that breaks up with you.
Right.
You invite all your awesome friends from the East Village over, and you're like, I have every right to gather, as
Right.
do you.
Can you be too Nazi? And then he's like, "You're too much for us."
Play the role of the extreme Nazi. That is commitment to a bit.
Yeah, that's a 6-month commitment. I don't know. It's hard to
Sympathy.
stay in a bad relationship for 6 months, let alone. Oh my God.
Yeah. I have a lot of drag friends. I'll send them down to you.
I guess I'd
Good.
take pictures and leave and just explain to other landlords why I have this on my record.
Oh, I see.
Oh, like a bad referral
Yeah.
from a Nazi?
Like, hey, you might not, right. You're going to get a bad phone call from a Nazi. Here's some proof.
Here's the thing. I fled in the middle of the night.
Right.
And they
You know
go,
what? I have done that though. I just remembered. Yeah. When I was, I don't know, 20 early, 1, 2, 3, pick a number. I lived in the East Village and I had just moved there. And the thing is, the turnover in New York, the same month that you're looking to move out, you're looking to get another apartment. It was Thanksgiving. So, it's like the last week of November. I already told my other landlord I'm leaving December 1st and everyone was away. I finally met with someone who's looking for a roommate, East Village, $600 for the apartment. And at the time that was a lot. Okay. This is 25 years ago. And what's that?
Let me just take a breath.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a 3-bedroom, full living room, like a kitchen. Right now, like you would stab someone for this, especially at $600. But
that's all that's happening, by the way. This news is reporting it like New York's so violent. But yeah, it's violent, but it's just over rent and by getting apartments.
Oh,
The 2 people on that subway were going for the same apartment. One happened to have military training.
Well, now we understand the hostility, right? Yeah. Well, I did not notice this woman was a cokehead. Like, not like fun Saturday night, like you have bad problems. And I don't remember how I landed on coke. It was something, she was bad news. And, in hindsight, I'm like, we're not bonding when we're talking about like, oh, so what's the rent? What's it like living here? Blah, blah, blah. I was just like, I'm desperate, clearly. Here's the deposit. Here's first, here's last, whatever. I doubt that she was giving any of it to the landlord. I moved in. And at the time we had corded phones. That's why my rent was $600. Okay, we still corded phones. Nobody had it was a landline. Nobody had a cell phone really. And if you did have a cell phone, you had to wait until like 7 or 9, depending on your program, because that's when you didn't have to pay attention to how many minutes you were on the phone. Okay. Anyway, so a landline is attached. And she's trying to get my attention through the door. And I'm like, I'm on the phone. She starts pulling the cord. Okay. Cause she's drunk and she just came in. It's like the middle of the night. And I'm like, holy shit, she's going batshit. She's starting to and then I'm like, let me get off the phone for a second. I don't remember a lot of the details, but I don't remember what happened when, but she was like, oh yeah, your friend called for you earlier. I told her I don't like your music and I don't understand why you went in that direction. I'm like, what is happening here? At the time I was pursuing music and, I had like, I was in different genres. She heard some of the dance music I was in and she's like a little more goth, a little more on the darker side of music. And so she's telling me this and I'm like, you are batshit. I need to like go in my room and whatever. I somehow find a way to go in my room, but now she's like legit going crazy. I don't remember what happened, but I called my friends. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to tell my roommate. I'm going to drop the keys. You come in. We're going to sneak me out of this house. We're going to take my TV because that was my one like very massive, spendy amount of money, the giant TV and maybe my VCR. And we're going to leave. And I left in the middle of the night. When I came back, all of my stuff was packed and she was pretending to be regular. Oh, I forgot. I don't know if it was that night or another night. She had her boyfriend over and they got into a fight and she was cursing. He was like the size of a security guy at a
like a regular. Have you seen the show Little Orphan Annie? Big motherfucker.
And she's white and he's black. And she's got the door open. She's cursing at him as he's walking down the stairs, calling him the N-word, calling him anything that comes to mind. And I'm like, holy shit. And I think that was the night I left. I was so scared. I had to go into the other roommate who I never met, by the way. And it had been a couple of weeks that I was in there. I had to go into his room to drop the keys to my friend because that's the room that faced the street. He's like, what the fuck? It's the middle of the night. He sees me crying, bawling my eyes out. And he goes, all right, come in here. He goes, yeah, you came into a bad situation. I'm trying to leave, all of this stuff. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And he saw how young I was. And he's like, it's good that you're going to get out. Just get out. She's not good news. And left, came back. She had packed all of the stuff that I left. And I'm like, fuck this. At least I get to leave. And I go, hey, what about my deposit? She goes, I'm busy right now. And she was with a couple of friends. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry. I'll just go fuck myself. And I left because I'm so young. I called the cops when I got to my apartment. Because I looked through my stuff and she had taken all of the stuff that had any value in it, and I didn't have a lot of valuable things, but I had shoes and clothes.
And you saw it videotape.
And I saw a videotape of them going through my stuff, her and her boyfriend, like, not this, not this. I called the cops. By the way, that tape I didn't find until later. I called the cops before I found that tape because I'm like, look, she stole my money. She's crazy. I don't have an apartment because of her. Like, all of this shit. I had to move. And they were like, okay, we'll go find her. I'm like, wait, but you're leaving. And he goes, and then the two of them were like, yeah, we'll go find her. I'm like, I didn't give you her name or her actual address when an apartment. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go. I'm like, holy shit. They're like, you don't even know her last name. You don't know what you're telling us. Like, we're not going to go and find anything. So see you later. And they left. It's like,
first of all, that is the best welcome to New York story I've ever heard.
I was raised here.
Oh, well, welcome to adulthood in New York.
Yes, thank you.
That I've ever heard.
Yes.
Secondly, can we unpack a couple things?
Yeah,
Yes.
the number of times that Kenda used the word crazy. First of all, Kenda, crazy happened to her. Okay.
Yes, I apologize for using the C word.
Yes. Well, she ingested, say what you will about the cocaine addiction. At least it got her to pack your stuff.
I was like, well, this is awfully nice.
How nice of you. I have questions about the video. Was this on VHS? They took the time to videotape this and give it to you?
Mini disc. I don't know what drugs they were doing at that night, but some drugs make you very, very productive for at least a short while.
No, it's like Adderall, a mini disc. Good for them. They
mini tape.
Okay. A mini.
Yeah.
Like a hi8 or something. What how do you find the tape?
Well, I was about to use the camera and I'm like, oh, let me look through like what's on this tape. I need to find a blank tape or something like that. You use your stuff and you're like, who the fuck is on this tape?
Did they know that they taped it?
What they know. They know that I'm an idiot and too young and I had just left my parents' house like a year or two before. They can like smell it. So, and by the way, he's still with her. I don't know what they know, like they don't know good things.
You should have kept that. Did you watch any more of that tape?
I didn't. And it was like a couple of years later that I had looked at. I was or a year. I don't know. And time had passed. And if I didn't know about her and cops didn't care at that time, I don't know that they would care at this time. I didn't tape it because
you didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it more. And I didn't want to hold on to it. It's the same as like, okay, so I caught an ex cheating, right? And there was a long email. And after the first couple of sentences, you're like, okay, stamp cheated. I don't actually have to read on to know more. And I know that I had a choice to read on to actually know more, and I did not. And I understand why people would be freaked out by that or,
No, I applaud you for that.
But
you are the complete opposite of me. Not only would I read it top to bottom, I'd probably perform it. I'd probably, make it into I'd probably like embroider it on a pillow. I couldn't not let that get the best of me. That's why, because my friends, when they moved, they had a house in Jersey and they moved and they had like a drop ceiling. And for some reason, they moved into the house, this new house, and they were breaking open this ceiling, trying to change some things around. And he pops open one of the parts of the dropped ceiling, starts feeling around up there and finds a box, takes it out. It's got guns and a whole bunch of porn tapes and one porn tape that said some really sick shit.
oh my God.
They call the previous owners and he goes, come back here, get your guns and all your porn. I'm leaving it on the front, like just leaving it on the lawn, just a bunch of guns and porn, like welcome to the neighborhood. Nobody else knows that this was not theirs. but they kept the really sick shit video.
Stop it.
And I said, tell me you watched it. And they said no. They were waiting for some sort of reason, like, I don't know, some sort of signal from the universe to watch this. I was like, the fact that it said really sick shit is all the signal you need to pop that baby.
No way.
Go on eBay and buy one. And they
I see. What I would do is fucking erase all of my fingerprints at it and put it through some kind of disposal system where whatever sick shit it is, you know what sick shit in porn is? Child fucking shit. It's not, you're not even thinking about how sick it could be. And now you watching it is a crime and it's in your possession. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, if it makes you feel any better.
From a guy who forgets his guns? From a guy who forgets his guns? What could be the sick shit?
Well, we're in the 2000s. Cuckolding is first base.
Exactly. But also, what would it be if it was just like the complete opposite? It was just like Cinderella. Like his kid could have taped over it or something. Yeah, if you have guns there, it's like let's have some really sick shit. You ever see Pinocchio? His nose grows when he lies. Like, we don't know what he's into, but they never watched it, and they just moved again, and they had it with them the whole time. Never watched it, and I am haunted by what is on that VHS tape.
Would you be able to watch if it's like torture videos with their guns?
No, I think I would watch 2 seconds, and then you get a real quick feel.
Then you go, you were right, babies. That is pretty sick. Okay.
Exactly. Then we burn it, and we're done. But
now we know.
I'm a cutter. I'm an emotional cutter. And
you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it.
I know.
Oh my God. So this is our poll. Would you watch that tape? Keith Malley.
Would you watch the tape?
Yes. Yeah. See, I am unlike Ken also in that I always thought, like, if I caught somebody cheating on me, the thing, like, I caught him, but they didn't know. And then I played dumb around him and let him just say more and more stupid shit, and then see their eyes change when I say things like, I don't know. Can you hand me that pen? What? The pen. Can you hand me the pen? And just keep doing that and drive them crazy until, they start the telltale heart crying or something. But I did catch somebody once and I kept reading. I'm like, well, it's not going to get better if I keep reading. Stop reading. Shit. And that's even worse and worse. And then I had to say something right away because it's so sickening. You can't keep it to yourself.
Oh, yeah. God. I'll read.
But I love the idea. I mean, I've fantasized about, and not even about a certain person, just because it'd be so fucking fun. You get cheated on, and then at the wedding, you play the video of her cheating on you. What a dream that would be. It's like doing the perfect karaoke song to save the world.
Didn't they do that in a movie with Anne Hathaway?
Did they?
I think they did.
Well, it's a good fantasy.
This is sad that I know this. Anne Hathaway and who's Goldie Hawn's daughter? Why can't I think of her name? Kate Hudson.
Yes.
Are both
I saw this movie
at the same time. And they played a video like that at her wedding.
It wasn't of her cheating though.
Oh, it was her like getting drunk and being stupid or something.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was pretty PG. This was a
why do we both know that? A garbage film.
Just recently rewatched it.
Oh my God, can't tell.
I'm sorry. Sometimes you need things as you're going through fucking taxes or bullshit that you can't pay attention to. And you go, oh, okay. And it's gonna, the bow tie is coming and then it ties it up nice in a bow. And you're like, okay, my taxes are done. And that's it. You move on with your life.
2 words for you. Steel magnolias.
Couldn't get into it. I know.
This pod is over.
I know. Feminist card taken away. This is why it's called The Girl.
But you had a Not Without My Daughter experience with this cocaine chick.
Never saw Not Without My Daughter.
Oh, God. This is...
She gets out of there, but it's with her daughter.
Spoiler alert.
Saves you a lot of time.
If you haven't seen it by now, classic 1989 Sally Field.
I couldn't watch it.
But here's the thing. So the sick video and, love letters that weren't supposed to go to you, send those all to me. Me and Erin will watch them.
That'll be the new
We
pod.
have this disease and so then it's out there, but you didn't have to deal with the ramifications.
Yeah. It's like you hired a middleman.
Yes.
And that's what our job. 100%. I will read all your trash.
And then we go, and then you'll go like, okay, what'd you learn? And we'll be like, yeah, he's an asshole. It didn't get better. And then now you know that.
Or do you want to read it or do you not want to read it? Like, I want to be the person that reads it first so I can tell you if you should or shouldn't do it.
Right.
I love this so much. And then you both should start every episode with the name of the person who sent it to you. Like, let's say her name is Cindy, because I'm so basic about names. It's the only name that ever pops into my mouth when I need a name. Anyway, you have to start the episode with the person's name who sent it in and go, Cindy, don't listen to this. And then Cindy goes, all right, I sent it in. I skipped this episode. Everybody else listens to it. My pain is other people's entertainment. Everything worked out. I just subscribed.
Oh my God.
And the fun we can have when we go like, I'm sorry, Susie, you are being cheated on by yourself because your guy is perfect. Wake up.
We're like, without Jerry Springer, there's a hole in the universe, and we would like to fill that hole. Let me and Keith fill your hole.
Oh my God.
Your guy is perfect. Lee, a piece of shit. And here's the list of why he's so great, and he is the shit.
He is not the father.
He loves taking advantage of you so that he can smother you with love every single day. He adores you.
Oh, I love this idea. You heard it here first on Keith and the Girl.
Oh,
all right.
Wow. And oh my God. And Erin could do voices, and you could do voices of the emails back and forth.
Oh, yeah. I have a whole grab bag of accents that is not being used. A farmer's market of dialects just at the ready.
Here, the little that I... Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was all. That's my little British for you today in honor of the coronation.
Have you watched any of that? By the way, let's cover this Nazi thing. Move. Okay, solved.
Oh.
Now, the coronation. Do you watch any of that?
Oh, yes, I did. I am part Brit.
How
my
so?
grandmother was right off the boat. I think I'm more British than Irish. You heard it here first. But I lived there for a while. And I have a lot of family over there. And they're very like, they love the crown, but like they love the royals. There's a lot of royal love over there that we're not aware of over here. They love them some royals. So yeah, I tuned in a little bit. I was like, it started at 5 a.m. There was no way in hell I was going to get up and see that. But yeah, so I watched it from top to bottom on YouTube after the fact. Let me tell you what, you got to learn how to walk like a king. He doesn't know how to, like, I've never seen somebody look so sleepy during a regal event.
How the fuck is he? Right. His day just started. He can barely move, and we're expecting that he's going to get on top of a dragon and help save us all. I don't see it.
He's wearing these royal robes and, covered in jewels and gold. And when there's like that final moment where he's supposed to appear out of the back of Westminster Abbey and the horns and the fanfare, and it's just like, ba, 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 and Prince Charles walks out, like, well, now King. He walks out, he's like, hello. It was so anticlimactic, that moment where you're supposed to see the king with all of those like beautiful singers and everything. And then he just sort of like comes out of a door like, I'd like to lead your country now. And
everybody's like, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do?
Just clap, just bow your head, just look supportive. There's a party after this. Katy Perry's here.
And they go through all this stuff that I guess started in Camelot, who knows, and where, and we all give our service to the king, and then like acting like these brave men that I really want to see fight overseas. It's a little fucking ridiculous. And how much money that costs, I don't see how they make that money back in tourism, but the whole thing seems goofy.
And he holds the bottle of Chambord looking thing.
Right.
And little scepter walks out. But, what was wild was because of everything that's gone on with Harry, you couldn't find him in the crowd, and they put him behind Princess Anne's big, huge feather. So
there's a feather blocking his face. It's kind of funny.
Like,
it seemed deliberate. It's like everyone tries to one up each other with their stupid fucking outfits. The Catholic Church, the royal family, Star Wars, and they just keep making it more and more ridiculous.
How did Star Wars get into that?
You ever see some of those outfits at the coronations they have? That's what these events look like to me. They look like space age fucking insanity.
Star Wars had coronations?
Of course. Of
Oh,
course.
you mean like when
You
they put the medals on people?
Yeah, yeah.
Like with Chewbacca standing up there?
Yes.
You made it sound like this is a real event.
Yeah, the Star Wars coronation. I wasn't there. It's a long time ago.
far,
And
far
it was
away.
a galaxy
Right.
far, far away. Yeah. Yeah. The outfits are wild. I definitely tune in for that, though. I love a good hat.
You
This
gotta walk around Williamsburg on a Saturday. Oh,
it's
the
like a hat
hats.
parade.
Oh yeah, all the Hasidics. Bigger and bigger hats the more you walk. Oh, it's beautiful.
In my
It
mind, I thought you meant like steampunk, like everybody was wearing top hats or like fascinators.
It looks like pilgrims in winter, no matter what season.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
what do we think about Camilla the Queen? She wrote it out. She made it. She made the side piece, made it. Are we happy for her as a woman?
Who?
Camilla.
Camilla,
I'm not
that the
a Camilla fan.
Princess Diana's husband cheated on her with Camilla, who was now queen.
Look, they never should have been married. Like him and Diana never should have been married to begin with. That was the problem.
Mhm.
But I don't, to look at Camilla, she doesn't look, these people don't look royal in my mind. But you look at Kate Middleton, and I was like, yeah, you stand like a royal. Camilla looks like she still has the hanger in her dress.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Oh my God, there's a picture that at the moment that they crowned her as queen, somebody wrote Slytherin underneath.
The sorting hat. Supposedly this is true. She wanted jewels on her head, and then the king was like, well, I need more jewels now. Then if she gets jewels, I need even more jewels. That's why he's covered like an asshole.
Wow, that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. And the most bizarre competitive one-upmanship in a relationship. Like I can't imagine turning to my husband and being like, I need more jewels than you. Oh no, you need more jewels than me.
They're saying I saw a picture or two about his fingers. Is this true?
What's that?
King, what's his name?
Charles.
King Charles.
Call him Chuck.
Sausage fingers.
Oh.
And yeah, it seems he happens to have like the tiniest, weirdest fingers.
I'll never not see it ever again. Because yeah, there's these weird parts of the ceremony that we've never seen before. None of us were alive for the first one.
Yeah, I don't remember
be
it.
alive for the next one. I'm looking forward to that.
That's right.
Yeah, they just sort of like present him with stuff, and he's just supposed to finger it. He just like touches it. It's weird. So they bring up like, here's a diamond that was taken from the royal vault, and then he just would touch things. So I guess
He's blessing him.
I guess
He thinks he's doing ceremonial shit. He's like, and there's the blessing.
There's something to be said about how you name people, like what their names are, because the archbishop, who was like running the whole show, he had to kneel down, hold on to his royal gilded robes, and at one point say, I, Justin, Archbishop of Canterbury. And I was like, his name is Justin?
Right.
You're the Archbishop of Canterbury. Shouldn't it be like at least Simon? At least something a little bit more British, but for it to be like, I, Justin.
I'm seeing here that Richard Dryfuss is sick of all this fucking woke shit in Hollywood, and he doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
What was the question they asked him?
How are you?
That was it?
That was it. It's a trigger for him.
Wait, is
Hollywood
this Dryfuss, you said?
Beginning in 2024, films must meet certain diversity and inclusion standards in 4 different categories set out by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences if you want to be considered for Best Picture. I'll tell you what they are in a second. Richard Dryfuss thinks that's bullshit.
Because he's none of them.
The categories, right, are none of the difference.
None of these things that they're going to require.
The categories, each pertaining to different aspects of a movie's production, would require diversity measures to be met through on-screen representation, creative leadership and project team, industry access and opportunities, and audience advancement. On-screen representation is classified as at least one lead character from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group having at least 30% of secondary roles be from two underrepresented groups, or the main storyline has to focus on an underrepresented group.
Wow.
Definitely need a PowerPoint presentation to go over the
Yeah.
numbers again.
I don't know how he understood. This is like complaining about that black racial theory, whatever the fuck, right? In colleges. It's like, I don't think you know what it
Critical
is.
race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he understood what this was. According to the Academy, underrepresented groups include women, people of color, people who identify as LGBTQ+, or people with disabilities, with the new standards meant to encourage diversity on and off screen.
This is so funny. That's gotta be most people. You're like half of the world is female, right? Or
Right.
close to it, right? And then you listed more shit. Oh
Right.
my God.
That's pretty much everybody. It's actually, if you kept reading, there was an asterisk at the end of that said, everyone but Richard Dryfuss.
Yeah. Well, here it says, or how about maybe even a dog, maybe? Question mark. That's a weird way to end the statement, but okay. It's not hard to fill these roles. No pun. The legendary actor, well, you can tell this right-wing newspaper is whose side they're on. The legendary actor, or it would have been this woke piece of shit that hasn't done a movie since Jaws, but he's legendary now. Legendary actor 75 condemned the inclusivity changes that will be implemented for next year's Academy Awards, saying, quote, "They make me vomit." This is an art form.
This is amazing.
It's also a form of commerce and it makes money, but it's an art, Dryfuss said. He was on PBS's Firing Line. That's funny. PBS.
He was on PBS, you guys. He was complaining about this on PBS. To set the scene.
And no one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is.
This is not who can make movies. This is who can win a very particular award, right?
Dryfuss, who played oceanographer Matt Hooper in the 1975 blockbuster beats thriller Jaws. Yeah, okay, you're in love.
That's a lot of adjectives for Jaws.
He claimed the standards were about legislating people's feelings. What are you risking? We really risking hurting people's feelings? You can't legislate that, and you have to let life be life. And I'm sorry, but if it was only us that went to the moon, for Christ's sake, I'm just kidding. And
Wait,
I'm sorry.
This isn't like law, right? This is just an award ceremony. Like,
correct. It's just one award ceremony's rules now.
So Richard Dryfuss could still be in movies. It's not.
Yeah, he could still do movies.
Yeah, they're not
like, we're not saying we're not greenlighting any more things, and you can't make anything unless there's a woman present or somebody more things than that. Like, it just can't be a dude multiplied by 1,000 people is your whole cast. I want them to go, your movies would have passed anyway. Okay, because I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
So pretty much, yeah, it's like Ocean's 11.
Right.
Would have to have like vary the tempo here, I'm looking up some of the worst Richard Dryfuss movies right now, just FYI.
Okay.
The Crew, never saw it. I did like Mr. Holland's Opus. I'm not gonna lie. Sure. He actually filmed something in Boston. I think it was called The Roundabout.
How bad could he be?
Weird, terrible movie. He ended up dying at the end of it. So,
wow, don't bother watching, guys.
Oh, I know. Spoiler alert for one of the best Richard Dryfuss movies. So basically, they're just saying everybody else. Like,
wait, Richard Dryfuss, is he the one in Hook? Does he play Hook in Hook?
No.
Oh,
really?
He has a name like that many syllables, probably. I know who you mean.
That's
really?
Robin Williams in Hook, right?
No.
The other guy. The bad guy.
Oh, he kind of looks like him though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why you're thinking that.
I see who this is.
The guy,
okay.
Tootsie.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman, yes.
Okay, you see how
Dustin Hoffman, Richard Dryfuss. Of course I do.
Oh my God, we've never seen them in the room together at the same time.
I'm sorry. I don't think that there's a minority or a majority in the country that has to be catered to like that. Dryfuss also defended Laurence Olivier's Oscar-nominated turn in 1965's Othello, where Laurence Olivier wore blackface to play a military commander.
Oh,
Bucho is correcting all of us. That's Tom Cruise, Chemda. Thank you.
Laurence Olivier was the last white actor, this is a quote, to play Othello, and he did it in 1965, and he did it in blackface, and he played a black man brilliantly.
Okay.
Am I being told that I will never have a chance to play a black man? So that's what's bothering him?
He didn't say that.
Yes, he did. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Stop that. Oh, we just got some behind the scenes. Oh, if you are not a regular YouTube watcher, that moment needed to be watched on YouTube with Keith's clipping and the highlights and the Xing.
It's a little serial killer vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, are you going to put that up on your wall later?
Well, it was just I have to mark that their second paragraph should actually have been the first paragraph.
Is this an AM New York?
This is New York Post.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Laurence Olivier.
It's still in circulation because of this.
Only because of me.
Right now, the Farrelly brothers are writing a role for Richard Dryfuss to play a black man and be like, okay.
That'd be great. Make him look like a real asshole. Yeah.
You asked for it. Calling your agent.
Laurence Olivier was the last white person to play Othello. Am I being told I will never have a chance to play a black man? You always think you're going to get to it eventually, and you just never do if you don't make the time.
Wait, is he saying I can't play a black man either? Well, no.
Yeah, he's upset. He's like, am I? So he did it. He was the last guy to do it. The last white guy to do Othello in blackface. And he did a great fucking job. Does that mean that Richard Dryfuss doesn't get to do it now? And the answer is yes, Richard Dryfuss, you can't do it now.
An awesome pull quote, and it seems like he's screaming it at the sky.
Yeah, I'm being told, I followed you for years, Jesus, and I'm being told I'll never have a chance to play a black man. Fuck you, God.
I did everything right.
Yeah.
And look, it didn't work for C. Thomas Howell. And, it's kind of ricocheted on Robert Downey Jr. There have been other men who have tried.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Is someone else?
His face, Whoopi Gold. Ted Danson didn't work for him very well.
Ted Danson did that?
With Whoopi at a Friars Club roast.
Oh, and that's why it's shut
So
down.
it's her idea. He's an idiot,
Yeah.
Everybody forgave it. It's like, she's in charge.
Are they dating?
He's stupid. Yeah.
That is the weirdest couple.
Is someone else being told that if they're not Jewish, they shouldn't play the Merchant of Venice? Are we crazy? Do we not know that art is art? This is so patronizing. It's so thoughtless in treating people like children.
Mm-hmm.
So then I went, wait a minute. Don't I remember something about Richard Dryfuss? And I do a little Googling.
Uh-oh. This is fun.
It's not good when Keith Googles.
I know. I want to hear how this story ends.
He's a sexual assaulter.
It's really sick shit.
Actor and writer Harry Dryfuss. So this is a little preamble. Actor and writer Harry Dryfuss, Richard Dryfuss' son, gave a detailed account of Kevin Spacey groping his crotch when he was 18 while his father, Richard Dryfuss, was in the room.
Wait, what? Who did what? Wait, whose dad was... What?
Harry Dryfuss. So there'll be more stuff about Richard Dryfuss later, but Harry Dryfuss, Richard Dryfuss' son, both of them were in a room with Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey grabbed the boy, 18, his crotch. His dad was in the room, didn't see it.
Didn't see it. Okay, so far, it's
Kevin
not
Spacey
Richard.
had the balls to know that Harry wouldn't. Harry wouldn't.
Not only did he have the balls to do that, he had the balls of Richard Dryfuss' son in his hand. We need like a red thread board right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like we connect Richard Dryfuss. The Richard Dryfuss is connected to the Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey is connected to Richard Dryfuss' son.
Right. I love my son, Richard Dryfuss wrote, more than I could explain with all the words in the world, and I am so incredibly proud of him right now. It was a response that many applauded, but Los Angeles-based writer Jessica Teague read the elder Dryfuss' tweet and said, well, that bothers me because he took his dick out in front of me. The dad, Richard Dryfuss. When I read about this support for his son, which I would never question, I remember thinking, but wait a minute, this guy harassed me for months. He was in a position of so much power over me, and I didn't feel I could tell anyone about it. It just seemed so hypocritical. The harassment was constant for a 2 to 3 year period when he was working on a TV passion project of his. The project, by the way, was called Funny You Don't Look 200, a constitutional vaudeville. Oh, what a fun idea, Richard Dryfuss.
Well, that was the first mistake.
I don't get to wear blackface in this TV show? Well,
I mean, come on.
that's the whole reason I put it together. Teak says that Dryfuss asked her to meet with him one day in his trailer in L.A., that he was working on a movie at the time. He was set up by his female secretary. I remember walking up the steps into the trailer and turning towards my left, she said, and he was in the back of the trailer and just his penis was out, and he sort of tried to draw me close to it. It was hard. I remember my face being brought close to his penis. I can't remember how my face got close to his penis, but I do remember that the idea was that I was going to give him a blowjob. I didn't, and I left. It was like an out-of-body experience. I just tried to swiftly get out of the room. I pretended it hadn't really happened. He created a very hostile work environment where I felt sexualized, objectified, and unsafe. Dryfuss tried to kiss her in professional settings, slip her I love you notes during meetings, and use unsubtle verbal sneak attacks. He has that way of sliding up to me and saying things like, I want to fuck you. That was said all the time. He would constantly steer conversations to this yucky, insinuating thing, and I would sort of pull us back to a safe place where we can actually get some work done. One time we were in separate hotels. We were seeing, she was working for him for whatever reason, and he was meeting Ronald Reagan, and they were in hotel rooms across from each other. And he said, I kept putting my ear so I can hear everything you were doing in the hotel room last night.
Oh, God. Oh.
And then, so that goes public.
Okay.
And then Richard Dryfuss puts out a statement through his people. I value and respect women.
Oh, good. Okay.
Me too.
Stop there.
Me too, Keith.
No, it's too late. Richard
good.
loves us.
I value and respect women, and I value and respect honesty.
Is it his fault if his name is actually Dick?
So first of all, I love value and honesty. This made me thrilled to read. It was somebody's truth. So I was happy to hear that she said that about me. I value and respect women. I value and respect honesty. So I want to try to tell you the complicated truth. Oh, right. That pissed me off. I'll tell you that. At the height of my fame in the late 1970s, I became an asshole. The kind of performative masculine man my father had modeled for me to be. I lived by the motto, if you don't flirt, you die. And flirt I did. I flirted with all women, be they actresses, producers, or 80-year-old grandmothers. I've been flirted with those who are out of bounds, like the wives of some of my best friends, which especially revolts me. I disrespected myself, and I disrespected them, and I ignored my own ethics, which I regret more deeply than I can express. During those years, I was swept up in the world of celebrity and drugs, which are not excuses, just truths. Since then, I have to redefine what it means to be a man and an ethical man. I think every man on earth has or will have to grapple with this question, but I am not an assaulter. I emphatically deny ever exposing myself to Jessica Teak, whom I have considered a friend for 30 years. I did flirt with her, and I remember trying to kiss Jessica as parts of what I thought was a consensual seduction ritual that went on and on for many years. I am horrified and bewildered to discover that it wasn't consensual. I didn't get it. It makes me reassess every relationship I ever thought was playful and mutual. And then, this woman's like, well, I didn't. But he did take his dick out.
Yeah.
But he did do that.
If your face was close to Dick Dryfuss in 1980s.
Then he gave another statement. There is a sea change happening right now, which we can look upon as a problem or an opportunity. We, all of us, are awakening to the reality of how men have behaved toward women for eons is not okay. The rules are changing invisibly underneath our feet. I am playing catch up. Maybe we all are. I hate when these apologies include me, and I have to apologize now as well. We're all trying to play catch up, and everything's like invisible floor I'm walking on, and what the fuck?
Yeah,
what
he just
the rules
didn't
now?
put your direct name in that.
Right. I hope people can join me in honestly looking at our behavior and trying to make it right. I didn't take out my dick. We have to relearn every rule we thought we knew about how men and women interact, because after all, getting together is the most fundamental human compulsion. And if we don't succeed in that, what do we have? I hope this is the beginning of a larger conversation we can have as a culture. Fuck you. Hey, maybe look into having women on your movies. Jesus Christ. You're a moron. Like, now that you learned that you're a fucking moron, like, best case, she's a liar and you're a fucking moron. Now that we know that, maybe calm down on PBS and look into it. Because you're an idiot. And now you know that. Not your fault. It's God's choice. There's a reason bigger than you. But don't act like you're
Yes, is
smart
the
now.
sexy
And you,
part of this, I can't imagine being turned on by Richard Dryfuss. Isn't he like a tiny guy too? A little guy. Oh, I know he is a little guy because
Maybe next to you. I heard about you.
I heard about
there's
you.
a picture of me dressed as Liza Minnelli with Richard Dryfuss. I will also send that to you. But
Oh yeah, how'd that happen?
it was a part of a thing for A&E. They were promoting their autobiographies of Liza Minnelli, Cher, and Bette Midler. So
Okay.
it's the gayest trio you've ever.
Right.
They hired a bunch of drag queens and me because I do Liza Minnelli as an impersonation. So they wanted Liza impersonators, Cher impersonators, and Bette Midler impersonators as I choke on my throat to do this thing for A&E.
Okay.
And it just so happened that we were doing our thing right next to Richard Dryfuss, who was performing, who was promoting a Broadway show that he was in that was not selling well. So
Okay.
he went out on the streets of New York with a bullhorn and a sandwich board to try to get people to buy tickets to it. So then suddenly it was like Richard Dryfuss and a whole bunch of drag queens, all of whom he does not want in any of his movies. Myself,
Right.
I should not be in that. But there's a picture of me as Liza Minnelli next to Richard Dryfuss. And that's not the weirdest thing that you've heard on Keith and the Girl. I don't know what is.
What's that? Can I hear a little Liza?
Keith, here's the good thing about being as drunk as I am right now. It's such a good time. I went down on Richard Dryfuss's Studio 54, and I can say definitively his dick was 2 inches away from my face. And there's a reason why his name is Dick,
Beautiful. Is there? I don't want to kick myself later. Any other voices that we'd recognize like that?
I don't know. I'm trying to now go through my grab bag. I didn't think we went from talking about Richard Dryfuss harassing a woman into Liza Minnelli. And no, I've taken such a severe left turn here somehow.
You think, and I'll make this announcement real quick.
Yeah.
May 21st. Do you like Micah Fox? Do you like Tim McLaughlin? Do you like Bobby Condon? Neither do I. Come support me. I'm taking them down. May 21st. Get your tickets. KeithandTheGirl.com/tickets. And I'll see you at the battle. The game show I'm talking about. You'll see. You're like, oh, what? Like, you're not going to figure it out. KeithandTheGirl.com/tickets. You'll see. May 21st. But I mean, what are we? Anyway.
Where is this? Where?
It's going to be virtual. So you can watch it right wherever the fuck you want. And it's a series of games, little silent trailers, little this, little that. And how good was I at the silent trailers section, Kunda, before they cheated in the other games?
Yeah, it almost looked like you might have a chance. Like it looked like you were going to destroy. You beat the shit out of them in the one of the 4 games that we played. And then it went really downhill for you.
Really down. There's a whole bunch of bullshit. So we got to make up for that.
I love that game.
We're going to, Erin's fantastic. The places you want to see Erin, we're at, where's the best places? Where's the best places to find out what's doing?
Well, go to erinmaguire.com.
Okay.
ErinMaguire.com. I always have to spell my last name because it's just a clusterfuck for everybody.
Right.
And I blame Mark Maguire. He ruined it for all the Maguires. He had like a W and it screwed everybody up. So go to erinmaguire.com for tickets and up-to-date info on where I am going to be, or follow me on Instagram at Erin Maguire Official, because my dates, in the city, I'll add more and more as they come in. It's a moving target. But the things that I know is that I will be at City Winery on May 17th in Boston, closing out Boston Comedy Festival shows and the competition shows you're going to want to see, because it's like a great week of shows. I will be at Off Cabot with Adam Ferrara in Massachusetts, Beverly, Massachusetts, June 2nd and 3rd. And then after that, I will be at the Borgata Casino for the bulk of the following week. So
I want you to know,
Monday or Tuesday night at the Music Box Theater at the Borgata, come on through.
why not? I just want you all to know that Erin did that off the top of her head. Now ask Keith what he's doing tomorrow. And he's got his calendar right above his head.
I'll tell you right now, I know what he's doing. Some really sick shit.
That's right. And then real quick before we get out of here, Denzel Washington. Go ahead, Erin.
Denzel Washington, my thoughts on him?
No, your impression.
Oh, Denzel. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. That was Morgan Freeman. I was about to do. I was about to do Shawshank. That's bad. I have no Denzel in my back pocket.
That's good. It was actually a test to see if you would do blackface. And
No, I've got exactly. I'm no Richard Dryfuss. I don't have that kind of range.
Thank you, everybody. Click like, click hearts, click stars, click blue diamonds, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.